What math do I take? What course is right for me? Simple questions, but not so simple answers. Let's break this down to make this more manageable. Before we begin, a couple of disclaimers. Number one, this video is specifically designed for students in Ontario, that's in Canada. So if you've stumbled upon this video for whatever reasons, this might not make sense to you. Disclaimer number two, this video is also specifically designed for students in grade 10. So if you're in grade 11 or 12, it might be a little delayed. The information I provide may not be as useful to you, so you might want to look elsewhere. Disclaimer number three, the opinions in this video are specifically my own. TDSB, schools, or other teachers for that matter don't necessarily share the views on this video. So please take everything I say with a grain of salt and use it if it helps you. If not, don't touch it. Disclaimer number four, if you have any other questions that was not addressed in this video about math, courses, myself, whatever, please comment below. If this video was helpful to you, please like it. It's very good feedback for me. And without further ado, let's get to it. A lot of students have asked me all too often, what math course should I take next year? It's usually from grade 10 students who are course selecting around maybe January, February, and they're starting to panic. Well, you know what? Asking me that question, you might as well ask me to plan out your entire future, because that's how weighted the question is. I'm going to try to address these questions as clearly as possible and in three parts. Part number one, first, what are you eligible to take? It's very important. Part number two, let's then talk about where you want to be as opposed to what you're going to take. And then part three, we'll talk about what those courses are all about. Part one, what are you eligible to take? But before we begin, if you are in the 2L stream, this video will not help you. If you're in 2L, you have to take 3E. There's no other choice. If you do want to take a different stream, then you have to go back to grade 9 and build your foundation from there. By grade 9, I mean grade 9 applied. If that's not right for you, or that's not up your alley because, hey, you're going into grade 11 and you don't want to be in a class for grade 9s, or you have no other alternative but to be in a class of grade 9s, you may not like that. Think about it, think carefully, and then move on from there. If you are in 2D or 2P, that's academic or applied, you have a lot more than just one option next year. And that's what we're going to explore. Let's take a look at the flowchart provided by the Ontario curriculum. Now, take a look. In short, this quick summary, if you are in grade 10, that's 2D, you naturally end up in 3U. If you are in 2P, you naturally go into 3C. However, there is a middle ground, that's 3M, and both streams funnel into that. These are your options in grade 11, but it's not so simple to choose because as you go further from grade 11 to grade 12, you definitely open certain doors, but you close others. Part 2, where do you want to be in your future? I'm going to ask you a question and you have to answer honestly. What do you want to do after high school? I'm dead serious. It's a hard question, right? But you have to answer it honestly, because if you don't have an answer to that, the rest of this video is not going to be useful for you. So, stop the video now and think about it. You have an answer? Okay, then we can move on. First, let's talk about the no-brainer, 3U math. Any program in university that requires abstract thought or lots of theories or is very mathematically heavy is probably going to need you to take 3U. Programs like life science, medical sciences, health sciences, engineering, any kind of engineering, even some computer sciences and whatnot, you need to take 3U math. Why? Because when you apply for those programs in university, they need you to have MHF 4U, MCV 4U. That's advanced functions and calculus vectors. The only way you can take those courses in grade 12 is if you go through the 3U stream. So, no questions, no arguments, end of discussion, you have to get 3U. Not only get 3U, but when you get into it, you have to bust your butt. You need to get at least an 80-85 mastery so that you are prepared for what they throw at you in grade 12. But of course, don't take my word for it. I encourage you to do your own homework and look at the programs yourself, research the universities that you are interested in. Don't copy your friend's homework and expect their plan for their future is going to be your plan for their future. So stop the video right now. Go into universities like Queen's, Carleton, Lakehead, University of Toronto, Waterloo, Western, whatever, McMaster. Look at the programs that you're interested in and take a look at what we call admission requirements. They will have a full list of high school student requirements specifically designed for you because they know what the Ontario curriculum is like. Next, let's talk about 3C math. College programs that need a math credit usually take any grade 12 math credit. So 4C is highly recommended. It is more applicable to daily activities, it's a lot less theoretical, and definitely more manageable. So take 3C, that takes you directly to 4C. But of course, don't take my word for it, do your homework on your own. Finally, the notorious 3M or grade 11 mixed. People will tell you, oh, it's the easier math that still lets you into university. Well, they're not wrong, but it's not the whole story. Do you want to go into liberal arts? Well, 3M, no problem. Do you want to get into Queen's Commerce? Please, don't make me laugh. Okay, what people should have asked you was, where do you want to be in your future when they asked what grade 11 is right for you? Depending on your answer, 3M may not be right for you. So listen carefully. Certain programs in university that don't deal with math, but still want students who can think critically, problem solve, and show some resilience, may want you to have some kind of grade 12. In that case, MDM4U or data management is a option that 3M students have. So you can take 3M. Programs like nursing, trades, etc. They take any grade 12 math. So yes, you can get into university with 3M. There are other programs out there that don't focus on the math, but they care really, really, really deeply about whether you can crunch numbers, whether you can problem solve, think abstractly, work with numbers in situations you may not have seen before, so on and so forth. Popular example, business. I've had a lot of students that want to get into the business programs, but they have no idea what kind of math they take, or they want to get through the easy way, right? They want to get the highest mark possible so that they can be eligible, but also be competitive. Some business programs out there do take you with whatever grade 12 math you have, but from what I know, from my experiences and what I've researched, most, if not all, high-level or coveted, very, very sought-after business programs all need you to have advanced functions, that's MHF4U, or both that and calculus, which is MCV4U. Schools like Carleton, Laurier for business, Queen's Commerce, even Humber College, they all require 4U advanced functions and usually calculus. They do sneaky things like, hey, you don't even need to have a low percentage for advanced functions, but your overall average has to be 90. Queen's also does a slightly sneaky thing like, hey, as long as you have calculus, I only need one more math. Well, just take a look at the Ontario curriculum. If you want to take calculus, you have to take advanced functions together or before. So why say you need one more math when you're taking two maths anyway? Each program is different and they have different requirements. They have different standards and they have different cutoffs. So you have to do your homework. You have to do your own homework. Do not look at someone else's. Do not take your friend's word for it, no matter how trusting they are. You have to research schools on your own. Part 3, what each course is going to be like in grade 11. Now, I'm going to be clear. There are definite easy courses and there are hard courses. But it all depends on your work ethic and your skill level. Hey, if you're not doing your part, then even the easy courses are going to feel hard. Hey, I was a terrible math student in grade 11, and now I teach it. I'm a living example of how effort and hard work can take you places. Curious to know what happened? Comment below, and I'd love to share my story of how I was subpar. But that's for another video. Just know that if you tell me that I was always good at math and therefore I'm a teacher at math, I'm going to laugh at you and say, you know nothing about the world out there. Back to grade 11. MCR 3U. 3U is a heavy course load. It takes everything you learn in grade 10 and challenges it. It stretches it. It really tests your abstract thinking, your arithmetic skills, your algebra skills, your ability to manipulate fractions and radicals, you name it. It pulls everything to the limits of what a 16-year-old is expected to do. If it's clear that the program you're interested in requires 4U maths, you have no other choice. Take 3U. But once again, do your own homework. Don't necessarily take my word for it. MBF 3C. 3C is a light course load. It's an easy course load. It focuses on using numbers in different situations, very, very situational scenarios, group work, project work, whatever the case may be. I highly recommend it. If you're looking for a math credit and you're not going to look back, you have no interest in grade 12 and therefore absolutely no interest in university or college or whatnot, take 3C. Not only will you feel relatively successful in it, you will probably free up a lot of time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears so that you can actually focus on more important courses that gear towards grade 12 and your post-secondary career. If you need 4C, take 3C. MCF 3M, the middle ground, is what I like to call grade 10 academic plus. It's mostly a repeat of grade 10 academic, but extended. It moves faster because you should know things already. We don't spend too much time relearning things because it shouldn't be the first time for you. We just go. So disclaimer to students who are coming up to 3M from the 2P stream. The jump is large. You can do it, but the jump is large. Remember I just said that we don't spend too much time relearning things because it shouldn't be the first time for you. Well, if you're coming from the 2P stream, some of this will be the first time for you, but you still have to learn all that within the shortened time frame that 3M provides. A lot of the people in 2D will be able to keep up, but for you to keep up, you have to do a lot more work and really, really be stretched and challenged because there is a small level of catch-up that you have to do. Wondering if you can handle it? Ask yourself that same question after you've been able to handle grade 10 applied with a 80-85% average as your final mark. The jump is going to be challenging when you go from 2P to 3M. Don't think it's going to be a breeze or you can keep up your level of success with the same amount of effort. It's challenging, and this is not necessarily coming from me. This is me repeating the voice of a lot of my students right now in this class who came from the 2P stream. Is it impossible? No, but know that you have to be mentally prepared because it is going to be a big jump. When should you not take MCF 3M? You should not take MCF 3M if you think it's an easier math that still opens up opportunities for university and gives you a backup plan. Remember, it's not that simple, and especially if you need a grade 12 math, you don't want to bank on MDM4U data management for one of your top 6 marks when you do your university applications. Let me tell you why you shouldn't bank on it. Data management is really different compared to conventional math you've been doing until now. Some schools, including mine, give exceptional grade 10 students the opportunity to take data management in their grade 11 year so they can sort of get it past them. That's how different it is. Although it might be challenging, grade 10 students will find comfort in knowing that they're not missing any kind of foundational math that you might learn in 3U. Data management is like number crunching. It's statistics. It's also game theory, like the probability of poker games or rolling dice, so on and so forth. I hate to say this, but I'm going to quote myself back when I was 16, 17 years old trying to explain it to my friends. In data management, it really depends on the kind of things you did as activities when you were a kid because it really just comes naturally or it doesn't. In my opinion, data management, you either have it or you don't. Data management builds off of your natural numeracy skills, your comprehension skills, your reading skills, things that you might have done in elementary school, rather than your ability to simply memorize, compute, and just calculate things. Don't be fooled if someone tells you that data management is the easier of the grade 12 maths and it's just, it just sort of made sense and it was really, really fun. Because for them, it might have been very natural, but for you, it may not. It really depends on what really does come naturally to you. In fact, you might even be terrible with conventional math and functions and XY grids and parabolas and graphing and whatnot, and be exceptional at data management. It's a bit of a toss-up, and this is why I say may not be for you. You may not find success the way other people did. You may not want to bank on data management as your grade 12 math. So there you have it. I hope this video was of some use to you. But once again, the too long didn't read version is this: do your homework. Forget what other people say. Do your homework. Think about what you want to be and do your homework. Visit the websites of universities or colleges or other community centers, programs, whatever, and do your homework. Figure out what you may want to do or what you're at least interested in. Go to the websites of university colleges, look at the course requirements or the admission requirements, look at what they want from you and what the average is. There are some hard decisions that you have to make, but it's better to make them now instead of later. The more serious you get and the earlier you get serious, the more time you have to push hard, to fill in gaps and whatnot. And you know that math is not the easiest subject. Even if it does come naturally, even the smartest of kids, they still put in work. As always, if there are any other questions that you have that this video did not address, please comment below. And if I think that that question you have is something that can help the masses, I'll definitely try to make another video for you. It's my job, really, as a teacher, so stay tuned. If this video was helpful, please like the video, and until next time, good luck.